Hey Alpha fam, welcome back to another episode of Alpha Commission. Today on Alpha Commission, of course, we're going to go over that pump on the Bitcoin chart. And guys, you can see there are just green colors across the entire board of altcoins today as alts are being lifted in the same ship as Bitcoin. And if we do just jump straight over to that chart, I do want to point out that we are in kind of an interesting area right now where we are hitting resistance. Guys, if you're not familiar with these EMAs, what I have on my screen is the bull market support bands essentially. And so this will give us a good idea of whether or not we're still in the bull market. And as you can see, part of what has caused all of the tizzy in the market was this breakdown, right? This test and then breakdown of the bull market support bands there. And you can see that we were just kind of drifting, perhaps even falling into a potential bear market. And what we're getting right now is a retest of that bull market support band, and we have not, we'll just emphasize, we have not broken above it. And so this is very significant. If I do zoom out, you can see that in the past, the bull markets have been supported by that band. And of course, if we fall below it, we get into some dangerous territories. Now you can see that we often have some wobble here at the lower end, especially on the daily here. That's no problem as long as we recapture that area. But overall, it's when we are above that green line that we're really in that parabolic mode, right? That everyone wants to see. And when we're in between the green and the red, we're just potentially just chugging along. And unfortunately, when we get a negative curvature on the red line, and then especially if it happens with the green line, we're falling into a bear market. And what you can see is that the green line is starting to curve, it's starting to slow, and that's what has the market just so worried that we could end up falling into another bear market, or perhaps doing something like this that we did in COVID during this mid-cycle rally before the real bull market kicked into gear. Now, if we do just zoom back to where we were, see if I can just press the back button over here. Of course, we do have this macro pattern that I've been talking about, and this macro pattern currently is what's supporting us right here at that level that I was talking about in the last video that I made. So that level was right here around 57,123, and you can see just 57,123 right here that did just pump us up back into this pattern. If I do go ahead and just take a look at the downtrend that we were in, we did have to break that area convincingly. And the reason I thought that that could be the bottom, and the reason why I warned the group, guys, if you're not in the Discord, please take a look at the link in the description of the video below, because it will give you some insights that you can't get on the videos, and that just we have like live streams and we have lots of chats that help keep you safe in the market. Guys, let me just go ahead and throw on that bullish harmonic that we were talking about in the last episode, and you can see where I've printed it right here, and then also that bullish divergence, okay, which did suggest that we were perhaps putting in a low in this area. And sure enough, straight off of that bullish divergence and that bullish harmonic that I pointed out to you, Alpha Fam, we did get that higher low. And then that, of course, led into this breakout, which did hit exactly where I was suggesting we might, right up into that yellow area, front running it just a little bit. You can see that we have not flipped that big alpha energy on this impulse, and we are butting our head into that bull market support band, suggesting that maybe we could have another pullback before we try to crack it again, or maybe this could be a pretty solid space for a huge and dangerous rejection, which is why you probably want to skim just a little bit off the top. And you can see that although we had all these bullish candles to the upside, we are now getting a little bit of retracement as people are starting to take a little bit of profit now that we are at that support band and we have not broken through it. However, these numbers were actually generated on our way to the downside. Okay, so if I do update the pool, you can see what's going on here is that in fact we've just tapped into the bullish control zone, and we were not able to hold above the bullish control zone. Now this is really interesting, that our bullish control zone currently is right at that bull market support band, and so that does suggest just added confluence, as we're watching the chart dip down, that we do have to actually take another crack at this and get into that bull zone, get into this yellow zone up here, and then ultimately flip this 71,000 to break out of this macro pattern, this kind of bull flag. It looks more like a bullish pennant to me, which could take us to the $80,000 range, or perhaps even $100,000 should we get a strong enough impulse to the upside off of this. Guys, this momentum pool that we're generating here is quite large. As long as we don't break the big alpha energy, which is now reset because previously we were falling, and so the alpha energy line was up top, but now that we're pumping to the upside, the alpha energy line is below us. Why is that? Because we need to maintain that level in order to maintain our energy to the upside, right? That's the strength of the move. So any closure today, above 59,680 will show that the strength of the move is still intact. And interestingly, it aligns with this yellow zone that I had marked out in the last video. And so all of this suggests that this pattern is very valid, especially since that bull zone also is aligning with my yellow zone up here. In other words, it looks like we got the levels dead accurate, Alpha Fam. So you guys are just absolutely killing it. And of course, our bias will remain to the upside as long as we're above 58,210. Below there, we are dangerously at risk of losing this pattern. The bias is going to look like this entire move was retraced. That's usually a bearish signal. You don't want to do a full retrace. You want to have a bullish reaction somewhere in this pump. And of course, if we do hold on to that strength of the move, it'll look like we're basically putting in a shoulder, a head, a right shoulder, and that's going to be perhaps a inverted head and shoulders, which could take us to the upside. No juvenile jokes allowed there. Guys, if we do lose our add or lose momentum level, that will suggest that we're adding momentum to the downside should we lose that volatility pivot. And of course, that's going to be under 57,195 thereabouts. Should we lose that level, probably this pattern is just breaking down to the downside, and we can hang on to our hats because we might just revisit the bear zone. Okay. Guys, that bull zone is above 64,910, so we are looking to do something potentially like this. Okay, we don't know exactly what it'll look like, but hopefully we can get something like that and get a squeeze that then takes us, perhaps out of this formation eventually. Okay, it's not going to be a straight line. We will have ups and downs, just like we are rapidly retracing hundreds of dollars right now. When I started to make this video, or planning to make that video, we were still around 64,000, and we've just been dropping quite quickly. So just understand that you do have to take your profits at these key levels that I mark out. If you want to put money in your pocket. Otherwise, you just have to wait to see, do we get a reaction, and just kind of pray that we have a higher low. Well, in this case, you can see where the stop loss area might be if you're long. Let's just go ahead and take a look at that older pool that I had there, because again, a lot of you guys like the alpha momentum pools, and I just want to show that once we were above that volatility pivot, we had that bias to the upside, and this is what I showed over a week ago, actually. Okay, so we captured that bullish bias above the volatility pivot, and then once we entered that hold momentum level, right, that was permission to long. Now we had 2 failed starts off of that, but look at what the third one did. That one just giga pumped out of there. So again, guys, you have to take these momentum pools seriously. They do tend to have an extremely high hit rate, and dare I say, it's one of the most accurate systems that exist. It is proprietary to my own design. I spent quite a number of years trying to figure this one out. And I do think that in its current form, it is quite accurate. Even if we do put on the current pool, you can see that while we're above the pivot here, we do have that bias to the upside. But as I always say, you're free to short at the top side of the pool, right? And maybe you're going to get some type of interesting retracement off of that. And likewise, you're free to long at the bottom of the pool, wherever that pool is. You're free to long off the bottom. You're free to short off of the top of it. However, your general bias is going to be based upon where you are relative to that volatility pivot. So in this case, this pool is saying your better bet is to the upside. And sure enough, that's how it worked out in the last pool. And currently, with that volatility pivot underneath us, it would suggest that this is probably just going to be a bullish retrace, perhaps putting in that shoulder, like I suggested, especially if we can maintain that strength of the move. Okay, all of these levels are working together. And so you can see we captured that bull zone. I would expect continuation. Okay, I would be front running that expectation, and of course we would have taken that long from this original pool back here. Okay, and that's just how we use this system. If you do want to learn more about this system, feel free to join my group. Guys, the link is in the description of the video below, and I can help teach you how to interact with this system in my charts. Again, we do have that bullish harmonic. We've now hit the B point of that harmonic, and that's a very conservative place to be taking some profit there. Okay, so if you just want to, not try to outwit the market, if you just want to, make some money. Well, if you haven't taken some profit, again, guys, I just can't emphasize enough how important it is to just raise up your stop losses, right? So if previously you had a stop loss that maybe you would take a 5%, 10% hit, now just bring it back. Now just bring it to your entry of your position, okay? And when you hit resistance, just take a little bit off the top. Now you're in a risk-free trade that you've already paid yourself a little bit and put some money in your pocket. And so you've made money, okay? And you can't lose money. And that's so important for risk management. You want to learn more about risk management? I have a course that I offer in the Discord. Go ahead and click the link and just sign up, guys. We've been just absolutely killing it over here at Alpha Commission. And we did get two new callers, KJ and Hoff, one of our original co-founders. He's back and he's starting to post trade setups. So we're going to go live with a boosted system pretty soon, and would love to have you there. All right, guys, I think I'm going to end this one there. Please pay attention to that bull market support band, which is also the bull zone above that. Let's just call it $65,000 zone. Above that, game back on. Potentially, right? If we do get that breakout out of 71, we'll have some resistance at 72 and then some resistance at 74, right? But it will be looking like we can front run that game back on, okay? But as long as we're retracing, just understand this thing could still go horribly wrong based on the past where we've broken down here, especially if the green line starts to curve to the downside when we retrace. Okay, so we want to keep moving up to keep this thing pointed up in an upward direction, and that means that the market is still intact. That's your alpha for the day. Stay safe and happy trading.